Here we are. It's been basically a week and a half since I buzzed off the zero guard and shaved. So this is Friday, but it was last Monday, over a week ago, like 11 days ago, that I did zero guard. Now, if you're asking me to predict what guard this is the equivalent to on my hair, I'm gonna tell you, I think this is creeping on like a number 2, and please correct me as I am wrong. I think this is closer to a number 2. The beard is about as thick as I even want a beard at this point. I like a beard to be about this, and then I'm done with it. I get over it. I don't ever really feel that connected to a beard. I think it looks good, but I also don't mind being clean shaven. I think for me, I don't like to maintain a beard other than doing the neckline, so I'm gonna go ahead and shave it off after I do this video. And I think it's important to do because I'm curious to see how it's gonna look if I have no hair on my face, but then I have this, which is like, you know, number 2-ish, right? So I'm curious to see how that's gonna look. And of course too, I mean, for some people they'd say, well man, Nick, you should keep the beard and just take it off to a 0 because that was the best look on you. And some people would say that, you know, and I'm sure that would look good. But it's funny because in all of this, you have to match what would look best on you versus what's going to work for you personally. You know, I've had my wife on here before. She doesn't like the beard so much because it's so scratchy, which I can understand. That makes sense. And again, that's convenient because I'm not the kind of guy who like wants to be one of those guys who has like a big beard all the time. Like that's not necessarily important to me. I'm not ashamed of the gray in my beard as I'm almost 37, but it's interesting to see, well, if you take this away, how does that affect things as far as the age goes? Because it's so interesting to me that many of you said I look younger without the hair. You know, even though it exposes the hairline more, it actually made me look younger because my hairline is somewhat comparable to many guys who are, you know, a decade younger than me, that are around age 26. So I think that's interesting too. So for me, as I make all these videos, another thing I'm keeping in mind as the YouTuber host here on this hair loss channel is I want everyone to be able to see me in totally different versions of buzz cuts. So different number guards, with or without beards, as the beard's growing out, clean shaven. I think it's important to see from all of those angles so that we can all get a great idea on what we all think looks best on me versus what works best for me, and then you can sort of gauge that for as far as what's going to look best for you perhaps. Now granted, maybe I have somewhat of a rare hairline and remember, I'm too old to know how to pronounce it right. Vegeta hairline? You're probably laughing at me how wrong I just pronounced that. But in fact that it's just so pointed here, but then it's more of like an octagon or a pentagon around here. So last look before I go ahead and shave off the beard. Which, you know, I like it, I think it's cool, but much past this anyway, and I'd be ready to shave it off. After you get to the 2-week mark, at that point, then you have to get through the it starts curling in on itself, and you have to get past that. So anyway, if you like the beard, this is about as long as you'll typically see me with a beard. And actually the only reason I grew it out this long is because I was in Florida. If you've watched the videos that I've published right before this, I was in Florida for, you know, 4 days or so. And I'd already had stubble, so I was like, I'll just keep the beard going, and because that will also mean that this is the exact same length as this. So I think that's, you know, for me it's all about the symmetry, which I'm about to wreck all that symmetry after this video by getting rid of the beard and seeing how this looks in contrast to a clean shaven face. And even if it doesn't look as good as this, at least I can know that and we can get a feel for it. It's all about me exploring these things for you so that you can sort of gauge what will look best for you. Okay, so here's your last look as far as me having the exact same amount of hair on my head as I do here. This has been basically 11 days. 11 days since I shaved off the hair and shaved my face. Before I close though, I do think at this length, which is, again, I'm incorrectly probably saying number 2-ish. It's funny because as I look at my hairline like this, it almost creates an illusion that this is noticeably thinner than the rest. because you see this darker arch, which we didn't see when it was a zero guard. I feel that's more of an illusion because even from the side, you can kind of see like right around the edges, it looks thicker. You know what I'm saying? You see that darker. So naturally you're going to see it here, which again creates this illusion of a contrast that is definitely thinner here. And I don't believe that's the case. We'll know as I do grow it out a little bit longer, but I do know when I came back from Florida yesterday, my wife, one of the first things she said when I took off my hat, she said, "Oh, your hair is really coming in nice now." So she didn't particularly mind the zero guard, but she definitely feels, she likes it. Notice it'll be more like this. So there's the update on post Florida. Now I'm going to shave this beard, make a new video, hopefully with the angle exactly the same, so you can really see video to video how that looks. I predict I probably won't look as good as with the beard. I think the symmetry is what it's all about. But I'm not here to do what looks the best. I'm here to provide lots of material for you all to see, and also personally what's going to work best for me. If my wife says my face is too scratchy, and trust me, this is very coarse, so I can understand why she would say that. So farewell to the beard, farewell to the perfect symmetry for now, and we'll make things exciting and see what happens next.